Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to hit live that quick. All right, y'all. I want to have a discussion real quick because I am hungry, got work to do. I thought about doing some readings, but I've been doing some healing work on some people, and it's been really, really deep. And I don't know what in the hell it is about this moon that is coming up. It is so powerful. It is so strong. It is, ooh, it almost feels like the return of the Christ. This full moon that's coming up is already wicked. It's real wicked. All right, I want to come and have a discussion about sexual abuse and something that I noticed about people that have been through some kind of sexual abuse, trafficking, being mistreated, harm being done to them. And you see a lot of them on YouTube.com. A lot of them. It's a lot of them that have been either raped, violated, molested, abused physically, sexually, mentally. And what they seem to do and what they are doing, especially the ones that are um, that are not healed. Okay, I've been through sexual abuse before. I've been raped, date raped, forcibly raped before, and I'm not on YouTube blaming other people. And so I consider myself to be a survivor because if you've been through any kind of sexual abuse of any kind and you're online attacking people that have never touched you in that way, um, you haven't survived it. In fact, you are setting yourself up for so much failure. You know what? You guys, sorry. I keep doing that. I apologize for that. I apologize. Okay. Sorry about that. Let me start over. I keep accidentally not turning off my Bluetooth speaker and it makes my voice really muffled. So I'm sure you guys can hear me really good now. So basically, what I have noticed and what I've peeped is there's a lot of people that have had trauma, sexual trauma, in their past, men and women. And they make for very dangerous sexual partners if they are not healed from that abuse. As a spiritualist, you have to handle these people very carefully. You can't necessarily just curse them, even though what is very obvious to me is that instead of them putting the responsibility on the person that actually hurt them, they're trying to point the finger at either their sexual partners or just complete strangers. And I feel that it's a mental Stockholm syndrome. You know, you have not survived that abuse when you are online calling everybody pedophiles, attacking people that are innocent that have not done anything to you. A lot of us have been through that. Like I said, and I was probably muffled at the time. I've been molested. I have also been raped. And, even though that energy does tend to come up to where, especially when a sexual partner is abusive in some kind of way, it does make you feel like you're being raped. But for me to honestly sit here and be in some kind of psychosis, and they are in a psychosis, I think that the moon, especially as we draw closer to the full moon, because like I was saying when I was muffled, this full moon that we got coming up is wicked. And I believe that the full moon, as the moon goes through its phases, can cause some people with unresolved issues to go into that psychosis. And the next thing you know, you're to blame for whatever past sexual abuse that they've experienced, and and you're doing it to your kids, and you're just a pedophile, you're just a rapist, and da 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 da. And especially, and even when the person that abused or raped them or sexually abused them in some kind of way dies, because just because something dies doesn't mean that the issue is resolved. So very often, people that have been abused, and particularly by their parents, they get worse after the parent passes away. And then um, you can see very clearly what they obviously went through as children, because all of a sudden they're pointing the finger at other people because they need somebody to blame, because whatever pain that they're dealing with, whatever memory that they're dealing with is so painful that they need somebody to hold their hand, and they need somebody to blame. But I can tell you that where the issue becomes unresolved and where the issue gets worse is when you are in social media. And I've had a man doing this to me for years, because I've been in meditation and in spirit so that I can see things clearly. And I realized that the reason why people do that, why you have complete strangers in social media, pointing the finger at people, is because they can't face the reality of who molested them. So then all of a sudden you're just molesting everybody, and they may even be too, who knows? And this can be very dangerous. You're out in social media where, people, in particular witches, they're just going to defend themselves. And, it's by God's graces that they haven't ran into somebody that simply feels the need to just come and pop them. A lot of people that have been abused or violated in their childhood, what they are doing is they are protecting the abuser and their image, especially if it was a parent. They are protecting their image, the actual abuser, and then come into social media or either the people in their lives. They are attacking these people as if they would attack the person that actually did harm to them. And what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to actually allow these people to attack you and to send you false accusations that you had nothing to do with? Most of these people, you don't even know them, and they will attach themselves to you and you become the abuser. You become their abuser. All of a sudden, you're the one that is, some weird pedophile, while they protect and they have Stockholm syndrome of the people that are the person that actually did something to them. And this is where the universe is going to be very balanced and very fair, to the people that you are falsely accusing. You're not going to be able to get away with that. So now then you are committing self-harm instead of trying to heal yourself. And this has been going on a lot, and I felt it would be inappropriate to just come and do readings and pretend that it's not there. It's like a pink elephant in the room that we can't ignore, because we've seen this playing out. And it's utter terror that other people are going through. I was speaking about this on my other channel, to where, again, I'm not the one that did any abusing, but out of fear, I had to protect myself, because God only knows what would have happened to me. If I would have said something about it, because they terrorize you into not reporting this kind of stuff. And so the abusers tend to get away with it by putting this off on other people. The people that are actually at fault. It's so bizarre. And then you've got some people that obviously have sexual dysfunctions. They will attach themselves to a story about you when it's really about what may have happened to them as children. So they almost become the person and come after you with some, and that's not going to heal you. That's not going to help you. That's going to make your situation worse. And apparently it must be a part of their healing process, in particular if it is a parent that abused you. You can't come out in social media and point the finger at other people. You need to just say it. Either my mother sexually abused me, or my father, or my uncle, and stop being afraid. That's what it is. You're doing that out of fear. You're attacking innocent people and pointing the finger at people that have not done anything, because you got Stockholm syndrome. Because at the same time, especially if you were abused by a parent, it creates that cognitive dissonance and that confusion, because that parent took care of you. So because you needed that parent to survive, and this is, you're in survival mode. Hey, Angela, you're literally in survival mode because of it. And I think that what is particularly devastating is when a mother abuses her child, when a mother is the abuser, when the mother does that. That can mess your head up completely. And I can see a lot of people. And then I also know about and confirmed a couple of people that were abused by their mother, because they told me, they confessed this to me. But instead of them snitching on the parent in order to deal with this, and you just gonna have to give up that ghost and tell the truth. You're gonna have to remember it, you're gonna have to understand it, you're gonna have to heal from it. you know Yeah, I mean, Angela Brown, I mean, I could tell stories about it, but For me, I put it away. I healed from that stuff. In fact, when I moved to Georgia, that was when I did a majority of my healing, was after I moved to Georgia. I went through several years of a healing process, and you're going to have to go through that healing process. And a part of the healing process is you got to at least face the truth. Innocent people are not going to suffer because of what some weird pervert did to you and your family, or because of what somebody done to you. Now, I was actually looking at a Netflix a documentary. It's like a series called I Am a Killer, and there was actually a woman on there, and she's doing 20 years of hard time in prison because she murdered somebody because she had unresolved issues from her childhood. Okay. She had unresolved issues from her childhood. And yeah, I don't blame you, Angela. I can tell that you've healed, but I mean, I have noticed that you do have somewhat of this hatred towards men, which is understandable. And we've got men going through that too, but you can't just hate. So I have noticed that. I'm not trying to bust you out there. And whoever that is behind that, I don't know if that's actually Bobby Norris, but Bobby Norris, you are triggering people by being here. And then the questions that you are asking are irrelevant to what we are talking about right now. Because all of us could be angry at each other for things that happened to us in our childhood. All of us could. But what good is that going to do you? That's just going to create more problems and more division in your life. But this woman, she had gotten raped at about the age of 14, and you have to go and see it. It's a black woman. And I'll have to link y'all the episode of it. But and this actually happened in Missouri, actually. And after she had gotten older and she had a child, she, was doing drugs or whatever, and she ended up killing this man and robbing him. And so, the Missouri Department of Corrections definitely gave her 20 years because it was found out that she actually had plotted this man's murder because of his income tax. So she basically robbed him, but then tried to make it look like, and she tried to use her being raped as a defense, and they wasn't having it because they had found a lot of evidence against her that she had just decided to rob this man of his income tax, which it, yeah, I don't know why income tax is so triggering to people. I know, I know, I know, Angela, it's hard. I know, and so I understand you. I totally understand you. Like I overstand you, especially when you see them doing some of the stuff that you see them doing. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, but I think that if there's hatred there, it's best to remove that from your heart, because that can mess you up. I've had men do some horrific things to me. I just had a man do a horrific thing to me this morning. Do I have hatred in my heart? No, I don't, because that would harm me, and I'm not going to do no harm to myself. You know what I'm saying? Even though this man told many, many lies on me, was really, really trying to convince people of lies, and he got issues and problems. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said having an understanding will be your best defense against that, because he can't hurt me. I'm not going to allow whatever is going on with him to hurt me. I'm not going to do it because it's not my fault. Clearly, there's some sexual abuse from his childhood that he's dealing with. And I could see that very clearly about him. And you know what? I am an empath. So probably about 30 minutes ago, I didn't feel bad, but I understood what his issue is. But at the end of the day, I got to defend myself. Because in order to cut through the layer to peel back that onion for him to actually get help, he got to realize that you are alcoholic and you about to kill yourself because of whatever trauma that you have. And some of these folks do need tough love. Because if I was doing that, I would expect the people but this is what's going on. You got a lot of people with unresolved issues, sexual problems. They've buried it, and burying it ain't gonna help. The only thing that you can do is deal with that issue and transmute it. And transmuting it is not going to be victimizing others, because when you are projecting your assailants' actions onto other people, you're no different from a rapist. You're no different from that assailant. So that's exactly what's happening. And nobody else has to suffer because of that. They've been doing it. And it's like, for some reason, why it pops up around income tax time, because, they need money for whatever elixirs that they have to, which is typically drugs and alcohol. They need their elixir. So, it's really bad, the exploitation that we're seeing, because a lot of people that have been through that would not dare do that. So, they are the bad guy. If you were doing that at all, if you were molested as a child and you're in social media trying to make someone else look like the molester, instead of actually standing up and confronting what the true issue is, you are the bad guy. You have allowed that situation to cause you to come and victimize others. And we can see clearly that a lot of these men have been molested by women. So they come and they rage against women in social media and get angry at me, for just trying to survive a situation where my life was probably under threat at that time. Because people that do stuff like that, they pretty wild. They'll threaten to kill you, they'll threaten you. So it's not my fault. I don't take any responsibility. I don't feel bad at all for saving my own life in that situation. And you know what I'm saying? But you can tell that they have female assailants and they want to turn you into the assailant. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but no. Especially in that situation, karma has already paid off, because all of those people are dead for some reason. Like, most of them either died or went to prison. And it's sad, it's messed up that the actual person that committed the crime is getting off scot-free while they're dumping all of this crap on other people. And that's not right. Just tell the truth. If your mother molested you, if your father molested you, and you're in social media, maybe it's meant for you to go ahead and tell the truth and shame the devil. Maybe that's the issue. Okay, maybe that's the issue, because we know that's a huge problem. And I think that people need to deal with their own issues. Now we know that mental illness and all of that, and even reporting crimes is very taboo in the Black community because you're told to shut the fuck up about it. You're told to shut up if you say anything, because these people, they run in packs. They're very, very uh what's the word? They're very, very forceful in covering up their acts. I think you have to have a wrench in order to do that, and I can't give you a wrench right now, sweetie. Otherwise, I would. Okay. I'll have to. You can send it to me, and then I'll post it in the comment section for you. Just email it to me to Queen Jamila 941 at gmail.com. And so I don't know. For me, I'm feeling like just personally, just coming at y'all personally, how I feel um, is, I just want to stay away from people. I don't want to have sex with no men because, especially, you can tell that a lot of them are dealing with sexual abuse and trauma. And if you try to have sex with some of these men, they're thinking about their own abuse and trauma instead of connecting. And so, that, yeah, that's a huge mistake to do that. That's why I'm social distancing for real. No, you good, Ray Perch, you good. And people that have a lot of issues like that, as we all notice, when they have sex with anybody, you raped me. So they can't, I mean, until they get some kind of mental health, hell, they can't. And this is why we got so many people going around consenting to sex, but then later on saying I was raped. And that's crazy. And possibly made to do all kind of sick stuff at the same time. We know that child sex trafficking is a huge issue all over the globe. It's a global issue. But coming and pointing the finger at other victims, what what good is that going to do? It's like a bad chain letter. It's like a chain around these people's throats, and they just, it happened to them, and then they do it to somebody else, and then, you got to break that cycle, but you're not breaking the cycle by trying to do harm to other people. When you get down to the nitty gritty of it, a lot of people try to, carry on that sexual deviant behavior as a means to heal themselves, but it did them no good. The only thing that's going to help you at this point is to tell the truth and shame the devil. That's it. Ain't going to work no other way. If your father did something to you, if your uncle did something to you, if your mother did something to you, if your sister did something to you, you got to tell the truth, which would open up a whole new can of worms. Yeah, it is. That's why I decided to come on here and speak about this instead of doing readings, because I'm an empath, and I just, I don't choose to suffer because of the actions of people that did things that they shouldn't have did. I just don't hurt because of it anymore. I just don't. And that stuff can create all kinds of mental issues to where you can't tell the difference between other people. You got to get yourself some help, but at the same time, while you're in that therapy, get you some healing help by somebody that can actually heal you, and not somebody that's going to exploit you for their own selfish reasons. Because I've seen that happen too with spiritualists. And I'm very authentic. I can see everything. I do. I can see everything. And what I can see is that's exactly what people are doing. And it is very unfair and unbalanced. And, nobody has to suffer because of, I know that for me, I know that I was taken advantage of, quite a few times. And especially me, man, I deserve to move on. And so does everybody else. They got to get some help and some healing. Yeah, it takes a while to heal from that. It does. And some people never learn how to heal themselves. Some people never learn how to heal themselves, and they take it to their grave. And I didn't want to waste my life. I'm not going to let whatever that perverted sexual demon take my life, because if you just sit there and suffer because of it your whole life, and you do harm to other people your whole life, you're not living. To the point where you can't even look at a normal family that ain't doing that kind of stuff, and that's all you see is the abuse. It takes over their minds. And I've seen that happen as well, right here on YouTube. And you know you want to help those people, but you got to put yourself first. You got to put yourself first. I know that it's ended up on my back door several times from people that are victims of that kind of abuse, and they'll come in detail to the abuse. They'll describe things that happened to them as children in detail, which makes you a bad person. Even though you may have been a victim, now you're a bad person because you're trying to put that crap on other people, because you've avoided it for so long. In fact, everything that you're projecting onto other people. Wow, Bobby Norris, I'm sorry, said he was abused. Who was you abused by, Bobby? If you don't mind me asking. I think that what helped me tremendously Even though I was protected a lot as a child. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Bobby. I can now see why you've been in that sector. Have you done anything to heal yourself? Yeah, I didn't know that, Bobby. I've been so focused on other people. And it's hard to heal yourself because, that's one of the reasons why people come to spiritualists to heal themselves. You got to clear and cleanse yourself of all of that. That's so sad. And, I can imagine that it's a cycle and in many families, it's a generational curse. You've been talking to L Dot about it? Okay. Yeah, that's real. Well, L Dot has his problems, and I know exactly what his issues are too, because I've heard him say crazy stuff about me. But it ain't me. It's what happened to you. Because I can honestly say that my mama ain't never done nothing to me. Not that I have in my memory. So I'm not dealing with those kind of issues. I kind of went through a lot of psychological abuse as a child. My mother, my parents, period. You know, but I can see very clearly that some of these people got some issues because they'll look and it's like, no, that ain't, and so those, so then they're demons. Because that's why I protect my children, because nobody be thinking about, I don't think about stuff like that. When I was raising my children, I was alone. I raised my children as a single mother. I didn't have a bunch of men around. I didn't let them go to places because I did that to protect them. So, because I knew the kind of stuff that went on when I was a child, and eh, you know, uh and it's very sad. So I'm so sorry that that happened to you, and eh, I can imagine that a lot of the stuff that they've been saying in that sector has been very triggering for you too, especially with them, looking at your body and stuff, and men, they all I gotta say is that it's not my fault. Whatever has happened, I'm trying to heal myself from. And I actually did, you know what I'm saying? I went through a lot of psychological damage, in my childhood, and I healed from that. Sexual abuse and physical abuse wasn't necessarily, my demon. My demon was the psychological stuff. Oh Lord, that's a freaking Mike Mills troll account. I swear, Mike Mills, I believe that you are either beyond help. You are beyond help, hon. You need to go and get some help. That's Mike Mills confessing to somebody, hon. You know what? You need to quit being in denial and stop trying to project that onto me and deal with whatever, whoever, because I don't believe it was your uncle. I believe it was a woman that did something to you. That's Mike Mills because he doesn't put the extra O on his twos. Okay. So I'm talking about what you're doing right now and trying to guide you and lead you, and you are totally in a psychosis. So let me go ahead and block you, hon. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna discuss that here. I'm trying to help people right now, but I'm gonna go live on my other channel and I'm gonna discuss what I believe happened to you and why you so messed up, Mike. Because that's all you talk about and think about when you start going through your psychoses. And we all know why you hate Black women, but I don't look nothing like the women in your family. So you need to quit getting people confused. Okay. And that's another one. That's another character on YouTube, another person on YouTube with Stockholm syndrome, blaming someone else for the abuse that she went through. And from what Tiffany told me, she went through some horrific abuse. And I don't even know if Tiffany was telling the truth. Allegedly, what Tiffany told me, and she was really having some problems because of it, but allegedly what she told me was that her mother put her out there as a child and let men molest her for drugs. And she told me that back in, about 2013 or 2014. So you need to go talk to her mother and talk to her. Because I didn't raise her. Her mother raised her. I wasn't around her, and I am not responsible for. And you people need to go ahead and, again, the shame is on y'all family members. Now that's alleged. That's alleged that her mother did that. I can't say that she did it or not because I wasn't there, but I'm not going to suffer for the sins of whoever did something to her. Yeah, and Angela, I believe that that's why a lot of these trolls are all messed up and shit. You know, these ain't normal trolls. These is traumatized trolls. And you know, y'all gonna have to get yourself get your hands on some herbs instead of doing all that damn drinking, because that ain't gonna help. ASC, they need to get them some wild lettuce leaf, maybe even some damn mushrooms and that kava kava. You know, there's several herbs that can help you heal, especially your sacral chakra. And you know, and some of these people are very, very damaged beyond repair to come up in here during a healing moment and start telling lies and acting crazy. You need to go get some help. That boy do not want to face who really hurt him, and I'm not gonna say who really hurt him because it ain't my place to say it. He gonna have to say it. And we're not talking about Tiffany being touched. We talking about you being touched. And going around the internet harassing and stalking people all day long in your brokenness, that's not going to help your situation. It's not. Okay, you better mix you up some feverfew and some ashwagandha root and some kava kava and go take a nap. Okay. That's one of the main reasons why I've been so understanding to him, because I can see what he went through as a child. But you know, you need to talk about your own abuse. And I'm not gonna say who abused you. You need to say it. Okay. Next thing you know, he'll be lying and saying that I traveled over there to New York and did something to him. That's what we're gonna have you committed to something. Okay. Let's do a quick exorcism incantation. Regna, Tere, Cantata, Deo, Silenti, Cernonos. Regna tere cantata deo salati aradia. Cali dus tere hamiliter majuste gloria tue supplicamus. Ut ab omni infernalium spiritum poteste. Laqueo and deceptione nequitia. Ominous fallace libera nos dominates. Exorcismus u ominous amunda spiritus. Ominous satanica potestis ominous incursio. Thank you, Goddess. Infernalius adversary omnis legio. Omnis in congresio secta diabolica. Ab insidious diaboli libera nos dominates. Ut coventam secura tibi libertate severe facius te ragamus adinos. Ut animicus sancte circulare hemerlare dignaris te ragamus adinos. Terribilis dus centerio sue, cernonos ipse traderit virtutum plebe sue, aradia ipse fortitudinum plebe sue, benedictus dus gloria patri, benedictus dea matrigordia, blessed be. And I banished that unclean spirit that Mike Mills or whoever that was just tried to send over here to me. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. If you were molested as a child, and depending on the number of times that you were molested is how many demons you may have on you. Okay. Or entities. Because as soon as that person said that they were trying to transfer the demon of their assailant onto me, and you're not going to do that. Y'all notice how the chat went down and they left? Because they carrying them demons on them. Yeah, that's what's been happening thus far. And they're looking for a Jesus character for them to suffer for the sins of either their mother, their fathers, their uncles, their stepfathers. And Jamila is not the one. In fact, a lot of men don't even want to admit that they've been through sexual abuse and trauma. So that's why they keep saying, Tiffany, no, talk about your own abuse and trauma. Talk about that. Because we can all see you doing it, and ain't nobody stupid here. You know, especially the people that watch my channel. These are very, very, very skilled psychics. They can see exactly what you're going through. Okay? So you just gonna have to face it and accept it. You're gonna have to accept the fact that you were a victim of some kind of sexual abuse, because that's what they talk about all the time. And the way that they talk about it is with such perversion, as if they've embraced it, and you can't embrace that because you're embracing that abuse. And trust me, ain't nobody gonna touch you with a 10-foot condom, because you can't have a normal sexual partner when you in that kind of psychosis, because every partner sexually that you have is the rapist that did that to you. So, you know, and you know, I just don't know what to tell you. The only thing that you can do at this point is try to seek some help. Get help. And for God's sake, stop smoking weed. That's making you more paranoid and more delusional. When you in that kind of psychosis that y'all are in, you can't smoke no weed. You don't even know what reality is. Mm-hmm. I think I've seen that, Miss Jamavish doll. I think I've seen that. They ain't gonna bring no horror story into my life because trust me, they've been trying and failing, and they always will. Turn on your camera. That's probably one of the reasons why Tommy Sotomayor ended up being more of a success because he told the truth about his assailant. And y'all running around here trying to push that energy onto other people. And I rebuke you and your lies and your demons, straight up and down. And you can't rewrite history. You can't do it. Sorry, not gonna happen. Okay? Definitely not gonna happen. Hold on, y'all, be right back. Everybody knows the truth, but you have to say it. You have to actually acknowledge it. And it's a proven fact that children of child abuse in some kind of way, whether or not the parent touched you or allowed another parent to touch you, when that parent dies, a lot of the times it sparks a really bad psychosis a lot of times when the parent dies because the parent creates such a codependency within the child. Y'all need to get some help. Okay, y'all need to get help with that. Y'all need to just come out of the closet, admit to what's going on, and you'll start to feel better. Otherwise, you just gonna stay sick, and I'm gonna be okay. Trust me. Okay, because you can't lie to God. God knows my heart. God knows everything. Now, the one thing about me is that I do believe in God, in one true source, and then I'm also a polytheist. I believe God created many, many gods. So you can't fool me. Okay? And you can't fool my spirits either. Get it together. Stop talking about other people's stuff as if you know and talk about your own stuff. That's the bravest thing that you're going to do. It'll set you free. Instead of turning on your camera telling lies on people, turn on your camera and shame the devil and tell the truth about your people. Okay? It's the only thing left for you to do. And you'll start to feel better. Even though the family may shame you, they may get together and attack you, it'll still set you free from that hell that you're living in. That hell that you're constantly trying to bring into other people's lives. Okay? Because even if your mother knew about you being molested, it's the same thing as being molested by your mother. So a lot of y'all, the reason why you blame another victim is because your mother knew about it, may even have facilitated it. And I don't facilitate that kind of violence towards kids. Not ever. In my life have I ever. It hasn't even been anything that has been something that I even think about. I don't even think about things like that. I don't think about my own sexual trauma or sexual trauma at all, even when I'm having sex. And that's why I told y'all to cleanse yourselves. It's your sacral chakra. It's coming from the heart, the head, and the butt. Y'all gonna have to get it together. Because you're just gonna continue to get yourself into more trouble and become even more self-destructive. Because you've been used to lying and covering up the truth your whole life. It's time for you to tell the truth. Because spirit gonna make sure that the assailant is the one that suffers for whatever happens to you. Okay. Anyway, you guys, cleansing yourself, loving yourself, healing yourself is going to be the key. Otherwise, the psychosis that you're in, it just gets worse and worse every single day. Little by little, it just gets worse. We can all see that the stories that you're telling while you're attaching them to other people is stuff that has actually happened to you as a child. Thank you, Angela Brown. Thank you. And having a bunch of perverted sex and all of that stuff, that ain't gonna help you either. You got to purify yourself. You got to wash yourself clean of that stuff. And I'm a sage, but all I can do is give you the education and the information that you need. Okay. But I'm not going to do it as long as you're being, disrespectful to me. While I'm doing it right now, I'm letting you know right now what needs to be done. If you don't take the advice, then you just going to get sicker and sicker. Y'all been doing this for several years. You still have not gotten any better. Because that's not going to help you. You're just going around creating hell in the lives of other people that don't deserve it. And that's where you become a problem. And spirit will remove your protection and let you go through whatever you're supposed to be going through. Okay. So, what I would say, what I suggest for it is not just spiritual work, but I would suggest both. I have a lot of clients that come to me and they see therapists and psychiatrists at the same time. And I think that both, handling it from both ends, is what's going to help. You know the saying, hurt people hurt people. That's exactly what y'all trying to do. And a part of that healing is telling the truth. about it, talking about it. In fact, that's probably why a lot of y'all are on YouTube. But you may have your parents sitting there threatening you, which is understandable. It's understandable that your assailant is probably right there in your face threatening you, telling you they're going to kill you. Okay. Um, all right, y'all. I'm going to go. I wish everybody healing, man, for real. I hate to see people like that. I hate to see people going through that. I don't want to I don't want to add to the abuse, but I'm sorry, when it comes down to it, you're going to have to be a grown up and grow up and come up out of that and stop attacking innocent people that have done nothing to you. I don't want to add to your pain, but you can't put that stuff off on me as an individual. God ain't gonna let me tell you something. I'm not Jesus. I don't have to die for the sins of your father or your mother. Okay. And while I feel bad for you, I feel bad for whatever it is that you went through. I'm not. And I repeat, I am not going to suffer because you want to keep that family secret dark. Bring it to the light. Bring it all to the light. Okay. But see, a lot of them can't do that because they feel too much guilt for things that they may have done, which still is not my problem. It's not the problem of Divine Services Apothecary. You could have listened to me and came and got help years ago. Now it's time for you to face the facts. They always talking about facts. Well, you need to face those facts. Okay. If it ain't too late, because some of y'all done already crossed over on that threshold, which is why you're pointing the finger at other people. I'm the type of person, though, y'all. Let me say this before I go. I'm the type of person that if I did anything in my youth that I'm not proud of, I would just admit to it. I'm not the type of person to lie about something. Way too honest. You know, a lot of us that were molested or abused as children, and I wasn't, I had a few experiences, but I didn't have it like in the home. Some of these people had it in the home on a regular basis. And this is what messed you up. And that's why you online doing this crap that you're doing. And nobody owes you anything. You owe it to yourself. Okay, to heal yourself. If you don't want to listen, if you want to go and act a fool, then keep doing it. I don't have to worry about it. Okay, yes, exactly. Yeah, therapy, can help. But then also at the same time, spiritual work is needed to truly heal and cleanse these people of their afflictions, because they are afflicted. Yeah, that's good. You got to heal, man. I know I had to heal my mind, my body, and my spirit from some things that I went through. But they say that you're not supposed to judge, and I can't judge because I can clearly see that I ain't been through half of what these people have been through, not even a third of it. And they're harboring those secrets, and the spirit wants you to let it out. And it's just like having something stuck in your throat that you can't get out. Yeah, I think that that's a way to do it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the star seeds and stuff, it does really, really help. It helps. I know that I do planetary work. What I believe is affecting them right now is that moon, that growing moon, and it's coming up. We already at 100%. We already in the full moon energy. You need to apologize to the innocent people that you have hurt and actually confront your assailants, because you have what we call it's a some of y'all it's a physical Stockholm syndrome, but a lot of y'all it's a spiritual Stockholm syndrome, because your assailant ain't even nowhere around you or near you, but you're still going through it and you're repeating it over and over again, the same thing over and over again, being told the same thing over and over again by healers that know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. You're welcome. I will catch y'all later. It's time for me to get something in my belly. I'm hungry. I'll catch y'all later. The government, all the system is promoting this kids trafficking. Yeah, I agree with that, but I think I personally feel also that people within themselves, you know what I'm saying? Like people, they lie on other people while protecting their captors, is basically what they're doing. All right, y'all. I'll catch y'all later. Blessed be.